What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of Bibbidi Bobbidi Bros. I'm Josh. This is my co-host, Pierce.
Oh, hey-oh.
We think we got the tech figured out, so we'll stop talking about
Yeah,
that.
we'll see.
Well, you never know. We can hope. This is the best it's been so far, so I'll take it. Let's see. Any good news for us this week? Anything going on in your life? Let's start with personal stuff. Anything good personal?
No, I mean, nothing bad. Nothing,
Nice.
just back to work after the new year. Crazy. I work in like the healthcare. I think I've talked about that before on here.
Yeah.
And so, we have the open enrollments and all that going on right now. And well, it's ended, but we're inputting. I'm a data analyst, so I do boring stuff. But anyway, so that's kind of it's been busy. So that's about it. And then around the house, the oldest one's loving life. We signed her up for kindergarten. That was crazy. Oh,
Dude, you're
not
growing up
ready for
so
that.
fast,
Yeah,
man.
not ready for that. So there's that. And then my youngest is, hair rising. So same old,
Good
same
for.
old.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us, it's end of year wrap up for I'm an accountant, so that's been plenty busy trying to keep up on that. Not a tax accountant, just your standard business accountant, so it's not like, I'm gearing up for tax season here or anything, but
Right.
just the standard trying to wrap up year end. Yeah. What about you? Got any resolutions this year?
I mean, just a few like I wouldn't say they're resolutions, just like how to be better. So like we've talked about before that I sell on eBay. So
Yep.
just trying to be more consistent with my side hustle, and it's actually a really enjoyment for me. Like I enjoy the treasure hunt side of it and looking for things, and I really enjoy not like finding cool stuff's fun, but when I sell something that I think's cool and somebody else buys it, I think that is just so cool. Like
Yeah.
somebody else thought something was cool that I thought was like cool enough to buy at like a garage
Yeah.
sale or whatever. So there's that kind of stuff. So I have some goals with that. And then I think, just trying to be, eat better, but that only lasts like
I
two
mean,
weeks. And
yeah,
then,
that's me all the time. Like every
yeah,
year I go for that.
yeah.
I think I'm going to attempt to journal a little more.
Mhm.
Nothing specific. When I journal, it's more
That's
of
what I
like,
use this for. This is my journaling right here. Weekly.
it kind of is. That's kind of what this is, though.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Every year I buy a calendar of some type, like even if it's like a to-do list calendar or
Like a
daily
day planner
to-dos.
type thing, or
Kind of, yeah, but they
okay.
get less and less involved each year because I know myself and that I'm not going to keep up on it.
Well, do
So,
you use your phone though for a lot of your calendar
yeah,
stuff too?
yeah, for
Yeah.
actual scheduling,
Yeah.
it's 100% my phone, which is why I don't
Yeah.
go anything in depth. The one I have now is like, I don't have it here, but it goes like weekly, and then it allows me to do to-do lists for like each day. And I like to
Okay.
hand write that only because then I retain it a little bit better at
Yeah.
work and whatnot. I like to
Yeah.
scratch things off, cross things off. So try to do a little bit more of that. Just put my thoughts down on paper occasionally, so I have less jumbled and stress, I guess, because
Yeah.
I tend to overthink everything.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think the only other thing would be is that be more consistent with this because I think this
Yes.
is. I mean, for the folks out there that are listening, we are doing this for ourselves. We are
Yes.
doing this so you and I can talk once a week, and we can talk about Disney and other things too. But it gives us a reason to chit chat once a week, with our busy lives. So it's
Yep.
it's something that I look forward to each week. So it's definitely something I would like to be more consistent. That we're cranking out an episode a week, just so you and I are forced to talk to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but also I look forward to it. It's a little bit of, I'm big on mental health. This is something
Mhm.
personal about me that I don't talk about a lot, but I'm big on accepting that people have stressful times, and mental health is becoming more accepted, but I think that's good. I think guys especially there's a gap there that's not filled. Some people are too prideful, don't want to talk about things, but just you and
Yeah.
I sitting down and chatting, it's great. I'm working hard on relationships this year. I've got a couple things. I'm going to work hard on my relationships. I'm going to become a better texter because I'm tired of hearing from everybody in my life about how I'm the worst texter
Yeah.
known to man.
Mhm.
And try to do more consistent things for my health, just being on my medicine better, for for my blood pressure and everything. And
Mhm.
also I'm going to try to work out twice a week at my brother's. And just try to do a little more, be more active and flexible, and get better at golf. I want to be a better golfer. I don't want to be a great golfer. I just want to not have days that I hate on the course. Like if I
Yeah.
could just be a bogey golfer, like I'd be great, right? If I could actually go out and every time shoot right around 90-ish,
Hmm.
that'd be good enough for me. It'd be fun. You hit the hundreds and it starts becoming unfun. When I lose 10 balls around like I used to, that's not fun golf, man. That's
Yeah.
just frustrating. It's not awful golf. I always have fun golfing, but I would just like to be a little more. I like my play to be a little quicker and just not feel like I got people on top of me, and because then I don't play well. It's just keep myself going, not looking for the balls, finding more fairways and greens, and that's golf talk. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to just play a little more and have a little more
Yeah,
fun with that.
I'm there with you on the golf, but I think with your girls are a little bit older and they're a little more self sufficient than mine are, so I feel like that's probably not going to be, anytime soon that I get out more than what a few times a year. Um, but yeah,
I get that.
I'd love to get out more. I mean, we play in a simulator league that is a lot of fun, and I enjoy
Yeah,
that, and it's scheduled time. So, you and I and our other buddy, we get to go out and play golf with each other each week for 10 weeks or something like that. And it's scheduled, unlike, normal golf where you're like, well, we're in Ohio, so it could rain. It could be crappy. You
yeah,
never
you never
know.
know.
So
And the summer gets hot, and it's like
yeah.
I have hard time getting out on the course during the regular season because the course I like to play that's affordable has leagues all week, and
Yeah.
that's when I
Hmm.
tend to be able to play. So
Yeah.
for a while there, it's hard to get on because they don't have openings during the week. They have so many leagues going, which I
Yeah.
get because they got to keep the revenue coming, and that's how they do it. But I don't know. A shout out to our other buddy though, our golf buddy Brad.
Hmm.
Brad keeps me entertained and spends all my money. Dude
Yeah.
finds some new stuff that I need. I bought a hot tub because of Brad, and now I'm going to get rid of
Hmm.
the hot tub. He got rid of the hot tub. He bought a pool. He said, "You get a pool." My
Well, I
wife's not
mean,
going for a pool. I'm just going to go to
the
Brad's pool.
the pool's more fun than the hot tub was, but that's just because like hot tubs, what are you good for, like 15, 20 minutes? And then
Yeah,
you
and you just sit there
probably
and
shouldn't be in there
chill.
any longer. Yeah.
Last time we were in his pool, we were launching kids and dropping
Oh
elbows, and
yeah, I mean,
it was
I love
awesome. Yeah,
pools.
yeah, me too. So I think I'm gonna just go to Brad's pool. He's funny though. I want more combos like this. Like I thoroughly enjoyed our text today. Like I'm sitting getting my car worked on. Brad posts up a text. I don't know if he wants me just sharing.
Well, that
this with the
explains
world,
why you
but-
responded back so
Well,
fast.
I wasn't gonna say that when I was on there. I was sitting there waiting on my car to be done. And I was like, "Oh, this is entertaining." I was
Yeah.
working too, though. I had my laptop open, working
Oh,
in
okay.
their lobby, looking like one of those fools.
Mucks.
Yeah, exactly. But Brad goes, "Here's a question for you guys." I swear to God, when Brad texts us some random stuff like this, I truly do feel like it's an episode of Seinfeld. He's like,
And I can hear him talking when he says it. Like I can hear his
Yeah.
voice going and his hand motions and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Brad's a man of science and of scientific studies that have no importance whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he asked us today our preference on underwear and if we prefer our boxers to have buttons. I
Yeah,
can
button
honestly
flies,
tell
yeah.
you, Pierce, there's never been a grown man in my life ask me if I prefer buttons on my drawers. And the minute that was sent over, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be entertaining. I'm going to enjoy this combo." Which, for those out there, none of us are fans of the buttons.
I don't even
Because,
understand why there's a button fly.
I don't either. There's no need.
And just
There's
use
no
the
need.
flaps all you need.
Yeah.
The ones
Yeah, I agree.
without flaps, though, that's troublesome. I don't like those.
That's the youngins. I think that's the young Calvin Klein group. I don't understand it. Like,
I ain't young.
what's the? This is for off the camera talk, but I don't understand what's the point. They probably
I don't
have a
understand.
reason.
I mean,
but does it looks cool? I don't get it.
it seems less accessible.
I agree, but they probably don't
And
tuck their shirts
accessibility
into
at
their
our age
pants.
is important,
No, it is in every
Yeah.
way. I agree.
Yeah.
So shout out to Brad. Shout out to our
Yeah.
family. Um, Brad's not listening, and someone else is. Bring it up. I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
love to talk about it. And then
Yeah.
maybe if Brad starts listening to our podcast, he'll be prepared for these conversations in the future.
Oh, after this, I think he might. We mention it. He'll
should.
be on. We'll get
Yeah.
one more view from Brad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess that kind of sums up everything. I got a few things here and there. I used to do resolutions harder. When you have young kids, it's impossible to keep up on anything,
Yeah,
let alone my
I
goals
just-
in the beginning of January. I love resolutions. I love New Year's and this fresh start because I can put myself in that mindset. It's one of my favorite holidays. But this year, I just want to be more realistic and more consistent with everything. I think that's the goal, consistency.
Yeah, and I also think like there's always financial goals that I have every year where I'm like, I want to make, X amount payments to my savings or to my investments or something like that. So I still have those types of goals and whatnot. But I think just most of all is just like keep the status quo and keep taking, getting those memories and that kind of stuff with the kids because man, oh man, like my youngest is like full of words now. And it wasn't long before, this time last year, she was hardly talking. And now she doesn't shut up with the other one.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love it. I mean, my wife and I are talkers. So I mean, at some points, like I was giving them a bath tonight. And they were talking so fast to each other that, and the levels were just rising. Like, cause they were just kept talking louder and louder and louder and louder. Finally, I'm like, we're in this, like, we have a little bathroom. We're like, we got to do some inside voices, girls,
Yeah,
because
we
you
gotta
are
chill
ringing.
I love
They're
that.
just so excited, and so
yeah,
yeah,
that's good stuff.
good times. But trying to remember all those moments is definitely key.
Yeah. We're lucky. We live in a day and age where we document a lot of our life daily. We may not
Right.
I talk about journaling, but you don't really need to journal like you used to, like 200 years ago, or even 100 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 20 years ago. Because now we do so much on our phones. I get daily reminders from multiple social media apps and my phone showing me pictures from a year ago today, 2 years ago today, 7 years ago today. And, find a good way to keep that stuff because I swear I had a hard drive stolen. And I've lost a lot of baby pictures of my my oldest, and that kills me. Like that would have been like the thing I ran back to in a fire.
Yeah. Well, this year I actually had the idea to like actually get a handy cam, like a camcorder, and record some of Christmas morning. So I set it up like the good old
Did you
days,
do
like
it?
when
Yeah, man.
So I had
I
some
recorded
technical
mine with my phone.
difficulties. Yeah,
Okay.
well, I used to do that, but I had some technical. I just set it up. I set up a tripod in the kitchen here, and I just had it pointed down at the tree. And basically, the girls were just sitting there and talking and excited and opening presents. And it's like
Yeah.
you always forget what their voices sound like. And I know that sounds terrible because you do, and it's almost like you lose that little bit of them. But you can now. I can go back, and I remember my parents have like VHS tapes of me and my brothers excited on holidays and that kind of stuff, and you can hear our little voices and our impediments and all that kind of stuff that you forget about. So I did it this year, and I had some technical difficulties, par for the course.
That's what we do, man.
But
We
I
should
learned from it.
change the name of the pod to Technical Difficulties.
Well, I didn't come prepared with multiple batteries, and it was for like a few hours. And the memory card I was using, it had other stuff on it. Like I had bought it, like resale, basically to resell, and then I decided to keep it. But yeah, so I think that'll be a good experience too, just so I can recount those. And and one other thing I did, and my parents don't even know about this, so if they watch the pod, they'll hear about it from here first. I bought them, and this is me thinking about you and my wife. I bought them each a book that has all these different questions and whatnot. So what I would like to do starting soon is either trying to set up something like this where I can record it. I keep putting my hands at the screen, sorry. Where I can record it and, remember their responses. And I don't really want to like write answers down because that's like half the use. I think, remembering their voices and that kind of stuff. And so my kids can remember it and all that when they get older. And, because, people don't last forever and that. So I want to have these conversations now and not lose some of that information that, generations on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for the people
yeah.
who don't know, he was referencing that Gwen and I both lost a parent, and that time flies by quick, and you wish you
Hmm.
had some of that stuff. Um, I will say, Jeff, my brother-in-law, bought my in-laws it was called Storyworth, or it's like Storyworth. We've all seen these ads here and there where
Yeah.
they fill out these daily questions or whatever.
Yeah.
I know they were near done with it, but they actually did it. I mean, my grandmother, God bless her, was a bit difficult at times, and my mom bought her one of those books, and my mom got it back when she passed away, and it was blank. She
So
said
I'm
to
not going to
her,
give the book to my parents. I'm going to
"You're
sit
just going to
down
ask the
and
questions."
record the questions and use the prompts. And
Yes.
I just literally got them this week. So I think my plan is to just mark down the questions that are, you know, I want the answers to. Like some of them are like, you know, how were you when you were a baby? Like
Well, heck,
that's nice to know, but that's not a full like 20-minute talking prompt, you know.
well,
That's like
and
yeah, I
you
think I was
can
a good kid.
you can record your phone calls now. So even if you couldn't get home to do this,
Hmm.
record a
Yeah.
phone call, and it's the same conversation. Yeah, my
Hmm.
grandmother was like, "Why do I want a gift that I have to do work for you to have?"
Yeah.
I was
But
like, "Dude,
this I think is nice because I would get the opportunity to talk to my parents and and
yeah,
I want to do them one on one so they're completely separate and if they want to share with each other feel free but like I would just keep them separate and just have you know whatever my dad says and then whatever my mom says completely separate. So they're two
yeah."
different accounts on their lives and I think that would be cool.
Not to beat a dead horse, but before my dad passed, I got to ride home with him from Florida, which is a pretty long
Hmm.
ride. We live in Ohio, so you're talking. We spent the night, and it was long, but
Hmm.
he was kind of in a rough mood, and I had him, and he had been when I went down to see him in Florida, and I was like, I waited till I had him in that car and cornered, and I made him open up a little bit by just prying him here and there for
Yeah.
a couple hours. I got so much info about his previous marriages that I never knew. Um,
Hmm.
I'm so thankful for that ride because Dad and I have talked about a lot of things, but these were things that he didn't like. He talked about his relationship with other spouses and stuff, and I didn't get the
Yeah.
chance to or the guts when I was younger to ask these questions because he
Yeah.
didn't like to talk about them. And at that point, I was like, dude, I got nothing to lose. And we didn't know that he was sick or anything. And then, sure enough, within a year, he's gone. And so I'm sitting there
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, like this. I wish I could have had that conversation recorded. So
Yeah.
any chance you get, you got to take it. This is
Hmm.
way more sentimental than a Disney podcast, but yeah, I think that's
I
I
mean,
think it's
part of
all
Disney's
important.
family, though. Yeah.
It is in memories.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
It's the same reasons I buy the memory maker because
Yeah.
I insist on documenting some of these good times so I can look back and my kids can look back on things that
Yep.
it's hard to remember. We're busy, life gets hard.
Hmm.
So
I mean, and we think about that, like the memory stuff. Like, we're trying to recount what we did on this trip right now. And it
hard enough.
was, yeah, it was a month and a half ago now. And I don't remember a lot of the stuff. So
No.
just imagine, like, my kids are going to have so many questions when they're, 4 and 2 going on this trip. They're looking back, they're going to go, well, they're not going to remember any of it. So
Yep.
all these, pictures and everything and our what we're doing right now is going to be something they can look back on and remember and kind of remember us and hopefully
Absolutely.
remember my parents and my mother-in-law and that kind of stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah, I saved all when I did a podcast for a year with my brother, I saved every one of those. So
Mhm.
that's as much for my children to inherit as it is for my therapy
Yeah.
to do this and have
Mhm.
fun, so my kids will never know that I
I'm
didn't
not
love
going to
them.
look this young forever, so
I know, man, making me look bad.
right.
They're like, oh, there's old GQ Pearson, Scruff
Right.
McGuff, Josh.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right, well let's get to this because I know
Yeah.
you got some cleaning to do. You need to tidy
Oh
up.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's go. Let's jump into Disney news.
yeah,
So
let's
I got
do
a
it.
couple of things tonight that are huge hitters. First of all, uh, Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her position at Disney Studios or whatever. She was the like director or whatever of the Star Wars franchises through Disney, and that is huge. You know, I got my Darth Maul hat on tonight. That is huge. If you're a big fan of the movies that have been created in the last 15-ish years, then you might be disappointed. Um, I'm less of a big fan of the sequel trilogy and some of the other stuff. Like I like the TV shows.
Let's put this into perspective real quick. If you
Mhm.
consider the first three that they made, not episodes 1, 2, and 3, what is it? 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
What are those out of 10? 1 to 10. How great are they?
Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, is for a sci-fi movie. It's a 10 out of 10.
Okay, if that's a 10 out of 10, where do you rank the movies and eliminate Rogue One? You liked Rogue One, right?
Yeah, Rogue
So,
One is like a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, that
so
I
let's
think that
not.
is as close to perfect as you can get. I mean, it was a great movie.
So let's not consider that. What do
Okay.
you rank? What do you rate the other movies in the last 15 years? How are they
Well,
comparison wise?
so people that read Star Wars um, before this came out, there was the Thrawn trilogy, which everyone's going to talk about. Timothy Zahn wrote it. It should have been movies. It was. I mean, it is just spectacular, and it's now like Star Wars Legacy or whatever they call it.
Yep.
Um, because that exists, it cripples these movies.
Okay.
These movies are, I mean, the acting's, for Star Wars acting, it's really good. Like, I don't have a problem
Yep.
with it. I like the actors in it.
You like the effects?
All that kind of
It's kind of
special effects are great.
Yeah.
It's pretty on screen, but the
It's the
storyline just
storyline you
didn't do
didn't
it for
like.
me. Yeah, it
See,
just
that's
didn't
good to
do
know.
it
I
for me.
didn't know that.
I didn't know. I don't know why they did what they did. I don't know if it's just they didn't want to do something that had already been written because so many people have already read it. So why recreate something on screen if somebody's already read it? But and
Yeah, I
then you
think
have the
that's
challenge of recreating something and people having those expectations to meet those. But when you get this instead, it's like, well, I'd rather been disappointed by Timothy Zahn series than this.
well, I think there's
So
a lot of people who probably haven't read it that are still big
yeah,
Star Wars fans because there's
hmm
plenty of people who just don't read as much anymore.
yeah,
As sad as that is.
yeah.
Um, you know, maybe that would have been a better route. I mean,
Yeah,
so
and I
what
don't
do you
even
get?
know how much. I don't even
Is,
know how much she was involved in all that. Obviously, I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just giving my unexpert opinion. But
like, would you rank those like a 5 out of 10, or is it lower than that?
no, I'd say lower. I'd
Really?
say
So it was really a
yeah.
drop off for you, a major drop off
Oh
from the.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like I'm saying 2 or 3s out of 10s. Like I just don't
Okay.
enjoy them. I think the
Okay.
storyline is so bad in all three of them. It's disjointed. It doesn't fully make sense. Now, some of the stuff in the other Star Wars movies don't make a lot of sense either. But you know, it is what it is. I just didn't like. I didn't like the characters as well. Just
Fair enough.
and it was like a recreation of the original series or the original trilogy, which, in my opinion,
Yeah.
nah. And I'm
I
not a big
think they were
Kylo Ren
trying
fan,
to.
so yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't either. I will say that. I didn't love him. I do feel like they were trying to not dishonor the Star Wars
Mhm.
name too much. Like they were trying to play too safe to appease all
Yeah.
especially with the first one Disney made.
Mhm.
It felt like they were just
Force
trying to hit.
Awakens, yeah,
Force Awakens, thank you.
yeah,
I'm not good with all the names, you know that. I
yeah.
have seen every one of them, but I
Mhm.
just and I didn't dislike any of them. I struggle with the old effects because I didn't watch them until like 2005. So for me,
Oh yeah, like on the original
it was
series,
very
yeah, or trilogy,
outdated. Yeah.
yeah.
But I can see the storyline was way better. I will give you that. The
Mhm.
storylines were way better. Nobody would want to see a recreation of those, but I would. Like to
Yeah.
see 4, 5, and 6 redone with new technology, same storyline. I would actually be entertained by that. No, but true Star Wars fans are gonna be like, it's not worth it, and they're very critical people. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
They're
It's
a
a tough
hard crowd to
crowd.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really
yeah,
are. But
yeah.
that's a testament to how good they were in the beginning. So
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe with the change you're saying, we'll
Well,
get back to more.
Kevin Feige, I think, is taking over her role, and I think he has like more of what's it, the thumb on her finger on the
The
pulse,
pulse,
whatever the
yeah,
people, yeah, of Star Wars fans. Maybe not. Maybe I this is all just what conjecture or whatever. But I hope that any new movies or direction, because he's done a lot of the series, and the TV series have been for the most part success. I know some people poo poo some of them, but I've been entertained every time. I
yeah,
was not entertained very much during the sequel trilogy.
okay,
So for me, it's about being entertained, and
yeah,
yeah. So
well,
that's been the big news there that popped out a few hours ago. So that's been big. And then the other thing that comes to the parks, which is really big,
I'm pumped
is
about this.
at Disneyland, they're going to start introducing some of the other trilogies,
Yeah,
the original trilogy, to the Star Wars area, Batuu,
yeah. Essentially,
and
they're
Blackfire.
expanding the timeline of the land, right?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah,
they're adding in Darth Vader and Leia and
yeah.
Luke and
I
Han,
love
which
that.
is just freaking sweet. The
Fire.
biggest problem about this is we are Disney World people.
We
And
are,
as of
but
right now, they have not announced that it's for Disney World.
if that hits in Disneyland, though, it's coming to Disney World.
Can you
That
imagine the queues they're going to have for Han and Leia?
no,
Oh,
no,
it's going to be
it's gonna be
sick. I
massive.
mean, I would be in that queue waiting
Dude, I'm
hours.
not a Star Wars
So,
person, and I would be in that queue.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I
Yeah,
I dressed up as Han Solo one year for Halloween, and my wife went as Leia, and it was awesome.
yeah, dude.
So, yeah,
Most
I mean,
magical Halloween you've ever had.
not that one.
Oh,
There was
okay.
a different one where I think we dressed up as pirates. That, um,
Well, you do like a
yeah.
good pirate. Yeah, you do like a
Well,
good
no,
pirate.
I'm saying more. That's when I knew I loved my wife.
I know. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like it's
she did not feel well that night, and I was willing to take care of her, which is something I can't say I would have done for pretty much anyone else ever. So yeah,
true
yeah,
love.
yeah. It was eye
True
opening for
love.
me. Like it. In all seriousness, it really was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Han Solo and Leia will be cool, and obviously Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want to see him too.
I'm gonna want to
And then
see
they're
him
gonna
too.
they're gonna
Yeah.
put Ahsoka and Mando and Grogu in like one of the like the open air markets or whatever they're called. Uh, So that'll be interesting too. Just have them sectioned off.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like they dropped the ball on the just the initial planning. I think they dream too small.
Yep.
But I'm also not the one that's budgeting this and deciding where the monies are going to go and everything. I think they could have made it its own gate at Disney World. And if they didn't want to do that, they could have made it much larger and made use more space or taken space from somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
At
I
Disney
don't
World, they
know.
have the Star Cruiser or whatever it's called right there that debunked that they could have.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have used that space instead and made it bigger. But
Now it's
what do I know?
offices or whatever. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
I don't know from a business standpoint, I don't know that if it would hit for a whole gate. It would for
yeah,
certain age groups. But if
yeah.
they aren't going to, and I think that's why they tried to do the newer thing, because that's
Mhm.
their original content, that they're trying to grow the base to younger people and get them attached and keep it rolling with toys, with adventures, with new movies. And so they were trying to put their money there. And I don't think they took into consideration enough how well the original movies still transcend with young people. They're just
Yeah.
forever iconic movies, and it was a miss. And they're
Well,
trying to
and
fix it
kids
now.
still love, kids still love Darth Vader
Yeah, that's what I'm
without a
saying. Like
doubt. So like Darth
he's
Vader
an
is and
epic
Boba Fett. I mean, are
villain.
two. Yeah, just so And what's weird is when you go to like entertainment purposes, the TV shows that have come out that are Disney based. I mean, a lot of them are new characters. Like Andor
Yeah.
was a new character in Rogue One, which that TV show did great. They had the Clone Wars series, the animated series, and then they did the Bad Batch, and those were Disney created characters, and they were at least in my understanding, and they're a lot of fun. And just I mean what they've done with Ahsoka and everything like that. I mean, just there's sky's the limit with what they can do with characters that are better than the sequel trilogy
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, I
Yeah.
mean, Gwen, my wife's best friend, Alyssa, big fan of the pod. She
Yeah.
is
Number
a
one fan. Number one
number one
customer.
fan. She is a huge Kylo and Ray, or AKA Raylo fan. Like
Really?
huge Raylo fan, like huge.
Okay.
So her being a huge Raylo fan, like makes me reconsider. Like maybe I'm only a few years older than her. Like I don't know, 4 or 5 years older than her, and I look at it and I'm like, maybe I'm just, you know,
Well, you've always been an old soul, though. So give you a little bit of that in a good way, not a bad way.
yeah,
But maybe maybe those characters do hit for younger people, but it's not,
yeah,
it's not like she doesn't like the old characters and that kids don't like,
right,
Luke, Vader, Leia, Han. We all like them. I mean, it's
yeah.
they should have kept the timeline should have been open for the whole entire
Can
Star
you
Wars
imagine? Can you
legacy.
imagine if you walked in? We're going to do like a whole Star Wars pod now. We're not even going to talk about the trip at this point because it's too good, and I'm on a roll here. But can you imagine if you walked into the Star Wars gate, the Star Wars only gate, and you walk down, and it's built the same way? You've got the cogs, the main hub, and then the cogs and everything, and you walk down, and you see whatever you want the castle to be. Maybe it's the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the left, you go to the prequel series, you go past the Death Star, and you go to the original series, and you go to the right, to the right, and you go to the sequel trilogy. And then there's little breakouts in those
Yeah,
worlds
man.
where you have
Yeah.
like maybe you have Endor or you have Mustafar where um Obi-Wan and Anakin fought.
Yep.
Or you have all these other planets. Hoth. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Hoth? I mean, that'd be so cool
I
to
have
have like
no
all this.
idea what Hoth is, but
Hoth is like the ice planet on in
oh yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah.
how cool would that be? Where you
That
have
would be
like
cool.
you have Echo Base like sitting there, and you can go do like a Hoth battle where you're in you're shooting at or you're in an AT-AT or an ATST or something like that, where you're shooting the
Yeah.
rebels. I mean, that would
Yeah,
be
man.
so cool.
It would be
It's
cool.
just like you
They
it
went
could
too
be like
small.
yeah, I do feel like it just went too small.
They
But like I
did.
said, I mean, how big could it be though? Also, like, are we looking at it like an original Hollywood Studios size, where it's like a half day type thing, and then everybody's going to be disappointed that it's not a full day trip? Or are you looking at there's enough Star Wars now and in the future that they could
I think
enhance it
if
and
they
make it
would,
better?
if they would have made it as big as what it is, plus the area of Toy Story Land,
Hmm.
and then moved Toy Story Land somewhere else, it would hit a lot harder. I
Yeah.
think that it feels very condensed, and what people wanted out of that experience. They always want more than what's business reasonable, so
Mhm.
let's start with that. Because the
Right.
more you build and the more you buy, the more you have to upkeep, the more you have to and then nobody's satisfied. Then prices go up because you got to pay for these billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar projects. But if you really wanted it to go great, you need to walk in there and feel like you are in Star Wars. When I walk into Harry Potter at Universal, we've talked about this, I feel like I'm at Hogsmeade. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm at Diagon Alley. I
Mhm.
feel like I am just there. Like that's a
Well,
real
even
place.
like in Pandora, when you go to Animal Kingdom and
Yes.
you go down to Pandora, once you get like around the bend there and you're right outside of Flight of Passage and you're outside of Cantuli Canteen or whatever it's called, Canteen, you feel like it's immense above you. Like everything's
Yes.
big
That's
and you
what it
can look
is.
up and see the floating stuff and everything. That's
Yes.
yeah. I mean, can you imagine like Endor or Kashyyyk? Kashyyyk is the Wookiee planet.
Yeah. Yes.
And they have all these huge trees,
They do.
huge trees.
Yeah.
And when you go to Star Tours, you see those big trees. Like when you walk into, can you
Yes.
imagine how cool it would have been to have like a little, like an outpost there? Uh, Obviously, Akbar Snack Bar. We all know that's what it'd be called. And there would be an outpost there, and there'd be little benches right there, and you could just sit within the trees. And Josh, what do we always say you need at Disney? Freaking
Shade.
shade. You would have
Shade.
shade built in. Oh my God.
I mean, they just
Sign me up,
miss.
Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to walk into a Pandora. And the thing is Star Wars is bigger than all of that. Like,
Yeah.
Star Wars is what competes with Harry Potter in my mind.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want something to compete with Universal, you shouldn't have half jobbed it. You should have
Yeah.
went for it, because that's
And
your
in my opinion,
competition.
I literally have a Harry Potter tattoo. I have a Harry
Same.
Potter got me into reading, and
Yes.
when I was younger, and I look back at that, and I would have never read Star Wars like I did if it weren't for Harry Potter. So there's
Absolutely.
so much about me that allowed me to nerd out and things that I thought I was too cool to do. So I have a Harry Potter tattoo. But I think Star Wars is bigger. Like I just think Star Wars is a bigger brand and brings in more people. It brings in kids all the way to adults. And I know Harry Potter does too, but it's just a different feel with Star Wars. It's older, so it's been around for so much longer. It's yeah.
Yeah.
So I just
I mean,
think
to
they
me,
could have
there's
done so much bigger with it.
there's three. When I think of this type of realm of a thing, like generations, you've got Harry Potter, you've got Star Wars, and you got Lord of the Rings. To me, those
Mhm.
are the three that
I mean, the other
hit.
one would be Star Trek.
Star Trek, you're right, 100%, because
Yeah.
there's that whole
I'm not
group
a
of
Star Trek
Trekkies.
fan, but yeah, I know that
I
there
like
obviously there's a lot.
the only one that I would consider myself to be a real fan of is Harry Potter. That doesn't mean I don't like the others. I've seen all of that and I've enjoyed all of that, but the only thing I've actually would consider myself to have nerded out on is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I do think there's some validity there that Star Wars, I don't know. Harry Potter reaches a really wide net, and not to say
Yeah.
that Star Wars doesn't either, but if you found out that the brand was worth more from Star Wars, I wouldn't be shocked. Is all I'm saying. I think you have a valid point there that maybe it does have farther reaching, at least
Yeah.
longer reaching. Like, people don't quit being. George Lucas could come out and say the stuff that J.K. Rowling did, and you're not losing fans, man. So I guess that's my point,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's disappointing.
Well,
when I think of Star
they're
Wars
both
at
they're
Disney.
both fantasy. So I think a common misconception, in my opinion, is people look at Star Wars and think sci-fi, and I don't think Star
You
Wars
think
is
fantasy.
sci-fi. I think it's a fantasy drama in space. So I mean,
Okay.
I think
What's
there's
Star
more
Trek?
fantasy to it. Star Trek sci-fi.
Okay.
You know, they talk about beam me up, Scotty, and phasers and all that stuff. And I'm just talking now because I don't know enough about it. I've never even seen the new movies, the new Star Trek movies.
Oh, they're
I've never
good.
even seen.
I've
Yeah,
enjoyed those. Yeah.
I believe it. I just never saw them. So, um, but yeah, I think that when you compare the two fantasies, there is a lot of similarities.
I'm
And
just saying, if at any
kids
point,
back in the '70s loved Luke Skywalker. So, um,
oh
you
well,
know,
look, your boy's like there's a cult following for what, Boba Fett,
yeah,
diehards, man.
yeah,
People
and
were.
he hardly was in the movies.
I've read a few different articles where, like, I can't remember what it was, but there were a couple things where they talk about how that was a miss. Like, they didn't realize they didn't have focus groups on it that realized how iconic he was going to be for.
I mean, I
for
freaking love
kids.
Boba Fett. He's
Yeah.
so there's
He looks awesome.
Another nerd out thing. So there's a bounty hunter trilogy. I know you don't read a lot of Star Wars, but if you're not going to read the Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy, I would highly suggest anybody that would be interested in the bounty hunters is to read the bounty hunter trilogy and learn about what happens to Boba Fett post falling in the Sarlacc belly. Spoiler alert: he falls in the Sarlacc belly. But if you didn't catch that by now, you've had plenty of time. But anyway, yeah. So it's such a good trilogy, and it gives so much more background on Boba Fett and why he is continued to be who he is, and he's so good at being a bounty hunter. Oh, it's just so good. Like me just nerding out on it right now. It's just it's so good. Like I want to read it right now. I haven't read it in years, and I need to get back to it. So
See, all I'm saying is if we want to, you know, do like a once a month episode where we like add in Harry Potter or specifically talk about Star Wars and
yeah,
nerd out a little bit. It doesn't have to be just Disney. 99% of it will be, but I do have a Harry Potter basement. I could go for days, and you know more about it than I do. So I mean, that's like,
well, I mean, I feel like I'm slipping on that too. Yeah, I feel like I'm slipping on that too. I haven't.
It's your agent.
With the new HBO trilogy or whatever, or not trilogy series coming out, that'll be interesting. I know there's a lot of, not getting political, I know there's a lot of folks out there that are anti JK and don't want to watch it, but I don't.
That's not why I don't want to watch it. Like, listen, here's the thing. I'm going to get a little political here, and not much. I'm not going to talk about the politics of JK, but I am going to say that I understand why some people can't support it anymore. That's not me, though, because to me, Harry Potter is, at this point, so much bigger than just JK. Did she
100%?
Did she own it? Does she own it? Does she represent it? And is it hers? Absolutely. It's in such a big place now that one day she's going to be gone and it's going to belong to somebody else. And it's still going to keep chugging along because it's a machine at this point. So she can say what she wants, and I don't agree with much of what she says, but whatever, because that has nothing to do with Harry Potter for me.
Right.
Because
Harry Potter to me, it opened me up to a world of fantasy that I didn't know was an interest to me. I knew I liked watching Star Wars, and I knew I liked watching like Conan the Barbarian and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So like different fantasy type, stuff like that, or historical type stuff. But I didn't know how fantasy, like how wizardy and all that kind of stuff, until I read Harry Potter. And then, like I said, I feel like I'm a different person because of it. Like my path was changed at that moment.
And with that, though, you brought that movie over to my house while I was like half paying attention because it wasn't cool to me. And I was like, if you want to, I guess. And you basically like pressured me into it.
Yeah.
By the time Dumbledore left Harry's house, I was like, wait, what's this about? And dude, I was like zoned in. I was locked in for life, buddy. I went home. I was like, hey, my younger brother, you read these books, don't you? And he goes, yeah. I was like, which one are you reading? He goes, I don't know. I've kind of, me and books, it takes forever. I was like, well, I'm borrowing this one. He had all three. Like, it was up to three that he had. They had the first three.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give them back to you when I'm done. Had that stuff done in like 2 weeks. Like, at that point, I realized I didn't want to be cool anymore. If cool was not liking that, I'll be lame. For the rest of my life, it made me realize what people think is cool is not cool. It's the same thing. Like, you're not going to convince me that I'm a loser because I'm a Disney adult. Whatever. Right. Okay. That's cool. You know what? How much joy you're missing out on in life because of that outlook on life. And so I've said this to you numerous times. I'm thankful that you got me introduced to that and just forced me to watch it. Sometimes you need a friend to kick you in the butt and make you experience something different. And I fell in love with it after that. That is literally, I mean, if you ever want to take credit for something, that's literally the first thing my wife and I had in common. So you'd be like, well, you know, you guys wouldn't be together if it wasn't for me.
What can I say?
I'm just a matchmaker over here.
Yeah.
But that's not why I don't want to watch the movies, the new HBO show.
Okay.
This goes... I don't want to watch something I've already watched. I'm so tired of remakes.
Yeah, but I hope this is different, because this is what it should have been.
I know what you want out of it. So
I've said from when the fifth movie probably came out that why is this not a series and not a movie? Because especially when they got to the seventh one and they just split them in half. You're not doing that with Star Wars movies. There's a reason why they started making TV shows in Star Wars, because it just makes more sense that you can do 6 to 10 hour-long episodes that can of control the narrative and not just rush through this storyline that's in some cases is so good that you're just you're just pissing away good stuff and good
Well,
eyes to watch your media.
4, 5, and 6 were even a more of a travesty because they didn't even get 2 movies, and they
Right.
are the longest books. But 4 and 5 are like the longest books in the series, or 5 and 7 maybe, but 4 is up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
I think
disagreeing.
5's the longest. Yeah.
What I wanted though, and I'll preach about it like every other, Potterhead out there. I wanted either the Founding Fathers of Hogwarts series, or I wanted the Marauders. I don't
Yeah.
want Fantastic Beasts, which I liked those movies. They were good. I didn't want those. I don't
Yeah.
want a redo of what I've already read in the books. If you've never read the books, I'll give it to you. You're probably pretty pumped about this show. Now, that's not you. I get why you're pumped. But
Yeah.
to you, it's like, okay, I get a further in depth of this series that I didn't get from the movies, and I didn't read the books. Thing is, I've read the books like 6 times, 5 times. I've between listening to them and reading them. I want. Will I watch every episode? Yeah, I'm probably multiple times. They know they've got us hooked. But
Yeah.
God, the money I would spend, I would go in the movie theaters like 2-3 times to see the Marauders movies. I'm telling you, man, I'd buy.
I mean, Josh, if and when they bring Harry Potter back again and they bring it and they do it in like high def or whatever, I would pay to go see it again in theaters.
Yeah,
Like at
I
least
know.
the first couple. I didn't like the later ones, so I thought they weren't true enough to the books, I guess I could say. So I
think
wasn't
that's
as
why a
once they
lot
got
of
to the
people-
fourth book, I kind of meh. But
I was just say, I think that's why for a lot of people, the third movie is their favorite movie or the first
Yep.
movie.
Yeah.
The third gets you past the childhood stage and into the adolescent stage of the seriousness of the situation,
yeah,
and also doesn't skip a lot of content.
right.
We've said this before. One of our most disappointing things in all of the movies is the Wizarding Cup ordeal.
Yeah, the
in
Triwizard
fourth
Cup.
movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the Triwizard Cup, and then the what book was it where he went to the Quidditch World Cup?
That was the fourth one.
Same one. So that
Yeah,
movie,
at the very beginning. Yeah.
So that's what I thought. That book, I said I've watched them like 4 or 5 times, but this is how my memory is and why we can't do a podcast a month and a half after. And also why I can go watch these shows again and still be entertained because I'm just old.
It's like new again.
But you used to say my dad can watch shows all the time. It's like watching a new. We're getting there, man. We're slowly getting to that golden hour.
I've never
man.
seen this before. Gwen's like, yeah, you have. What?
Yeah. Nah. That's funny. But the fourth one was my favorite book. The fourth, I would say 4 and 6. I loved 1.
Yeah.
Everybody loves 1 to a bit. But reading them, like the books, I loved 4. I liked
Yeah.
6 because we learned about Horcruxes, and I thought that was really interesting. But 4's movie was, while I thought it was great, it was incredibly disappointing. I was like, I just wanted more.
The maze and the Triwizard Tournament was just
Trash. I'm sorry. It was not.
I don't think I've ever been that disappointed watching a movie in my life.
But the graveyard
Like,
scene was great to me. I loved the
Yeah.
graveyard scene.
It was fine. Yeah,
I
I
really
think they did a
liked
really
it.
good job with it. And I think the way Voldemort looks was really good. And
And I
I
loved the
didn't
Yule
mind
Ball.
the World Cup. I wish there would have been more to the World Cup. The Yule Ball was okay. I thought they made it a little too silly. But
Okay.
because I think it should
enjoyed
have
it,
been
though.
more focus on serious, like the anxiety that Harry was feeling.
Sure.
So
But this goes back to having a 2-hour movie and,
and
and 6
so
hours worth of content.
I really hope when they get to the fourth season, they do a whole episode just on the World Cup and a whole episode on, or enough of an episode on just the maze.
Yes.
I'm sure, because that will be the end too. You're going to lead right into
Yep.
the end of the movie. So, or I mean the series that fourth season. So I really hope they give the maze the justice it deserves. Having the spider, having the Sphinx, having the blasted Scroots or whatever, however you call it.
Yeah.
If you can have all those things in it, that's going to be
Yeah.
I mean, that
You're
would be
gonna be
that would be worth the price of admission right there
Will,
for all of it. So,
how important? We're getting off tangent here, and we got to wrap it up. But
Yeah.
how important is the acting?
Once you get
for
talking
you?
about Star Wars and Harry Potter, you lose me.
I know we're in trouble. I know. It's like, but to me, a lot relies on how good this acting is, because I do think that is one thing they got right in the movies, was picking the right people to portray most of the characters.
Mhm.
There are a few people that maybe I would pick differently, but like I look at Umbridge and I still want to punch that actress. Like,
I've seen her in other things. I completely agree. And
So I'm
same
just
with
like, so
same
good.
with Petunia.
Yes,
And
I can't.
Petunia.
Yep,
Like,
same here.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think I'm open-minded about this. I think I would have a harder deal if they redid Lord of the Rings and just made 3 movies again or something like that, where I thought that scene was so perfect, spot on every character.
it was.
That with Harry Potter, it's like, I feel like the 3 kids were good and Draco's really
Yeah,
good. Tom Felton played Draco really well and kind of still lives
Lucius
to
is
that
great.
because yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of good characters, but in the end, the first 3 movies are kids movies, so
They
it
are.
doesn't get serious until the end of the 3rd one. So,
It's true. Yeah.
so it's what are your
Well,
expectations on kids movies on how good the acting is and all that kind of stuff, especially when kids are your stars and you got 8-10-year-old kids. Your acting is not going to be great. It's not until they got older that you're like, oh, they're really good at their craft.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'll go into it with a more open mind. I just wanted something new. That's all it was. I've heard this story. I know how it ends. It's another take on how it looks, and more in depth
Yeah,
on how
but
it looks. But
yeah, I think
there's
just
so
thinking
many
that they're gonna
side
have
quests we could go on with this franchise that we haven't
yeah.
tapped into, basically because she doesn't want to.
I mean, they
How
wrote
can
out yeah, I agree, but they just when you go back to the original series of the 7 books, they wrote out Winky, who is so much fun in the book.
I know.
Um, they,
I get what you're
they-
saying.
yeah, I think there's so much more to add that they
Okay, then
didn't
maybe
add in the
she can
movies
just
because
go
of
ahead
time
and
constraints.
maybe she can go ahead and write new books for me so I can read them, and then have every liberal friend of mine be pissed off at me because I will buy them and read them, and I will love them because I
Yeah.
love them. I just this is what it is. But I want to know more about the world than what I know right now, and I hate to
but
say this, but I
maybe
want it from her.
But maybe if this is successful, it will
She's
lead
gonna
to
be
more. Like,
dead by the time they're all out. We got 7 seasons. It's like going to see Game of Thrones all over
she's
again.
not that old. What is she, 60?
Dude. Okay, I get what you're saying. My point being that we're gonna have to wait 7 years at least,
Longer than that, yeah.
probably 10 before this
Yeah.
is done. And is she gonna want to write books in her 70s? She's already tired of talking about like rewriting new stuff now.
Well, maybe she'll get the excitement
Maybe.
of it too.
Maybe midway through this, she'll love it, and
Yeah.
she'll decide that
You
she
start jotting things
recants
down,
all her
making
politics.
notes and crumple them up again,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. More Harry Potter for me is not a bad thing. Like if as long as they're
That's true.
hopefully
That's true.
improving it, I'm
I'm
not upset
hopeful.
about it. And if it's terrible, then we'll go, well, it was terrible. They gave it a shot. Probably won't do that again for a while, and we'll move on.
I am hopeful that it gets my kids more excited. I've refused to let them watch any movie that they haven't read the book. I'm probably going to have to cave on that eventually. Listen, I told them, hey, whoever reads the whole series first on audiobook, dude, and I've bought all the new ones where they have the full cast doing the audio.
Yeah.
Here's $100.
Yeah.
Just give them a try. You don't like them? Hey, at least you get $100. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, you read them all. I am for sure going to take them down to Universal
Yeah.
to see it in real life. But dang it, I don't want to pay for it if they don't know who any of the characters are and any of the people.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to accept that I met my wife over love of Harry Potter, and I have 2 children who are more worried about teen romance novels.
Well, I mean, I'll
Ugh.
say this. I don't know how much you read them chapter books when they were like younger, but I'm already reading Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to my oldest
I
right now.
tried. That's the one I tried.
And
One of the ones I tried. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she falls asleep, but then we just take off where she
Yeah.
fell asleep, and she asks questions, and a lot of the times the questions are she just wasn't listening, but that's okay. She's full. She's going to be
Yeah.
5
She's
next month. I
4.
mean, what are
Yeah.
the expectations? And then for my youngest, I'm reading The Hobbit to her. I mean, she's 2 years old. She doesn't know any of this stuff,
Jesus
but she just likes
Christ.
listening to me read. So, and if I'm reading it, then
Why read her a
I'm
nursery rhyme when you can give her the the Lord of the
listen.
Rings and the Hobbit?
We read Mickey or a princess story or whatever beforehand, and then she literally goes, "Hobbit, Daddy," and then she just sits back.
You know
I
what?
turn off the lights because I read it off my phone, so I turn off the lights in her room, and I just sit in her chair and I rock her and I read off my phone, and she usually just falls asleep.
Hey,
And it's
do me a favor. Pull
hmm,
out the camcorder for that. To
yeah,
you, that's not as big of a deal as you think right now. But when
yeah,
you're at my point, you're going to look back. I have a picture of Steph reading to Addie, and I made a post on Facebook. I think about this more than I should. I don't know. It's like a Roman Empire thing for me. But one of us read to our kids every night growing up.
hmm,
And when they were little. Then we got into some other things, singing songs, and God, our bedtime went from 10 minutes. At one point, I had to tell Steph, dude, your bedtime's, it's like you're over an hour. Like, we need
yeah.
to, we
I've
got,
had that conversation with Gwen. Like,
we've
you can't
got
just
to kind of
stay in
speed it
there.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to get to sleep. And Steph just looks at me, and I'm like, just do what you want. I cave most of the time. Like, go read. It's fine.
Well, Gwen's like, well,
You
I
know.
read 7 books. I'm like, dude, I read 2, and that's it. Like, that's all she gets.
But
And if she
still,
falls asleep, that's all she gets. And she's happy. So,
you need to record the fact that your kid's entertained that you're reading The Hobbit to her, even if it's on
yeah,
your phone, that or
yeah.
on someone's phone, if you can't get the camcorder going, because that's something that if she turns out to be a Lord of the Rings fan in 25 years, for her to have that is
yeah,
chef's kiss, man.
yeah.
All right, let's hang
That's
it
a good
up with
idea.
that.
Hey, we got to
You
do
know,
dad advice real quick.
dad advice. Here's what I got.
Yep.
Mine's quick.
Hmm.
This is something new that I did. Maybe my family thought it was overkill. I thought it was brilliant. It's my idea, so there's a little bias there. But I saw a
Hmm.
thing where buy one of those cheap over the door shoe racks that people that just have the pouches that you put shoes in.
Yep.
Use it for your chargers. Use it for your
Hmm.
tech stuff. Use it for your magic bands. Use it for
A
your
great idea.
watches. I did it. I loved it. Personally, I loved it.
Yeah.
They
Every
didn't
night
use
you
it
get
as
to.
much, but I put all
Hmm.
their stuff in there. It kept the room so much more organized than just having
Yep.
multiple cords just strung everywhere and chaos. That's my suggestion. Buy one that hangs over the door and try that. It works for me. So there you go.
That makes sense. I like it. So mine is, and I'm a big backpack person when I'm at the parks. I have one of those backpacks from
Bar,
wherever it's
Barnes bum.
y- whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, it snaps in the front. It's comfortable, but on the back of it, it has
Pottery
little
barn.
loops. Pottery
Pottery
barn,
barn.
perfect.
Thank you.
It's like the Toy Story one. So on the
Yeah.
back of it, it's got loops, and my wife had the great idea to put carabiners in those loops, like you're a hiker or a climber or whatever, and then you can hook your refillable mugs if you still have it, or if you'd like to use those instead of the paper cups at the parks, which I do.
Yep.
Um, you can put your popcorn bucket on there and just have it hang off if you're just walking around and everything. And dude, it is just you're not carrying stuff. Now we have strollers right now, but when you and I went, we didn't have a stroller, and
Yep.
I
It was
did that.
awesome.
And when my wife and I went, just the two of us, it's a lifesaver on just having to carry those things. And I used to like clip it to my belt, but then every time you'd get in a ride or whatever, you'd have to like shimmy around and whatnot. This, you just swing it right off,
Yeah.
boom. And then they have little straps you can get for your popcorn buckets that you just strap over the top of it, so it keeps the lid on tight, that you don't have to worry about it
Yep.
popping off. And yeah, dude, it's the way to go. Just
Yeah, I was
being
a little
more.
worried about
We kind
that.
of have the same idea here, just being more organized, more put together when you're on your trips.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that when we used it. I was like, I don't know, man. We're gonna have to split time. I think that's gonna be heavy on your back. I think it's gonna be a pain to get in and out of the rides. It wasn't. Honestly,
No.
It works way better than I thought it was going
It
to be.
does help that
So
I have the chest strap with my
yeah,
bag, so you don't feel like the constant shoulder pull because you feel
yeah,
it more in your the chest kind of holds it up some.
yep,
So I would advise if people do that to have one of those types of bags or at least try it out, because I think it does take off some of that the stress on your back. But yeah, dude, it's just so much better than having to carry crap, you know.
yeah.
So
That's
or
great
not bring it at
advice.
all. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yep.
we're supposed to talk about Epcot tonight. This is what
Maybe
we love
next
about the
week.
yeah, but this is what we love about the podcast is that it just rolls and we just
Yeah.
whatever happens happens. I would like to talk about. There were some good memories from that
Yeah.
one. That's great.
Hmm.
Shout out to Maris. Thank you for listening to our podcast. I'm
Yep.
sorry I am a terrible texter. As you heard, I am working on it this year, so I will get back
I
to
responded,
you.
so you know.
What?
And you
Why
guys
you
can
got?
always
You don't have to
put
do that.
questions in the comments. You can put questions in the comments. You can reach out, that way.
Yeah,
Hit the
family.
like
You can
button,
put
smash the bell.
smash the bell. Our 7 family members. Yes. Um.
Hey,
You know,
we'll see it.
I appreciate her. She had some dad advice though, and we are going to mention it as an
Mhm,
extra dad advice because whether you mean it or it's funny, it's
mhm.
entertaining. But I want to tell the story before we give the advice. So,
Yep, yep. So that'll be for
you
next
know,
week. So, and like
yep,
we talked
we're
about
actually
real
going to do
quick,
it.
just to go back, just to recap, we are going to try to be a little more schedule oriented going forward. So hopefully in the next few weeks we'll start getting our podcast out. What are we going to try to get them out
We're
on
shooting
Monday
for
mornings or
Monday mornings. Monday
Monday
mornings.
morning? So
Yep.
this next
So
week we won't, but the following I
going
think
after
we'll
that,
start getting them out. Yeah. Hmm.
look for us
So we
Monday
should be good to
mornings.
go, people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I feel
buckle
like we're
up.
finally there. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess with that, I'll send us out.
All right.
See ya.
Later. Do they do it like this? Good, Stu.